careful of that undertow when you're out here. Boardwalk is just on the other side of these buildings. That is nightmare fuel. Either going to encounter snakes or enter Narnia. Like she's seen some stuff. I dig it. It's a cool building. Seven Brew's kind of new to our area. There's two of them. There's one down in Polly's and there's one here in North Myrtle Beach. They're a pretty big chain and I'm kind of digging them so far. Drive-through only. Now leaving North Myrtle Beach. And welcome to North Carolina, Brunswick County to be exact. So North Carolina, come on and raise up. Going through Leland, North Carolina right now, just south of Wilmington. It's a nice little pocket, little area, up and coming neighborhoods and whatnot. I kind of dig this little section. And we are entering Wilmington, North Carolina, home of Dawson's Creek and some good food. And a bridge that always terrifies me when it's raining. And there is no fee to enter this state park. Open 7 to 10 and free for everybody. So in this state park, there's miles of hiking trails and there's a marina, which we're about to reach. I believe it's right around this bend. Yeah, there's the parking lot up there. So if you stay at the campground, which there's a campground here, you can do some hiking. If you bring a boat or a canoe or kayak, whatever, you can get out on the water. This marina opens up to the Cape Fear River, and that's what this large body of water is here. To the right of us is a portion of the Intracoastal Waterway. So this is the intersection of the Intracoastal Waterway hitting the Cape Fear River. So if you walk around the edge of the marina, you can get a nice vantage point of the Cape Fear straight ahead. And to the right, as I mentioned already, is the Intracoastal Waterway. Over and that's the bridge we drove over to get here. I'm afraid I'm going to step on them. There's just so many. They're everywhere. So here's your boat ramp, which you do have to pay for. There's no admission to the park, but there is a boat ramp fee of $7. You can rent kayaks over there in that building. And there's the marina we just walked around. The section with all those crabs running around was right behind those trees over there. So you can put in your paddleboard or your kayak right here, so you don't have to use the boat slip and get in the way of the boats. There's the building there, with all your choices to pick from. And a little observation deck. Just off the parking lot of the marina is one of the trails, one of the many trails they have here.
Sugarloaf Trail, left and right.
We are going through the campsite loop right now. And something I'm immediately noticing as someone from Myrtle Beach, and I've been in the Myrtle Beach State Park a lot, is these campsites are relatively
Private.
yeah, private. There's a little separation between you and your neighbor, some trees, some vegetation. The campsites at the Myrtle Beach State Park are quite literally right on top of each other. I mean, you can zip open your tent, reach your hand out, and shake your neighbor's hand. Here, there's a little bit of a seclusion element to it, and I kind of dig that. A little bit of privacy. I mean, if these campsite markers weren't here, I'd feel like I was just driving down a wooded road. And there's a bathhouse somewhere down there. There it is in the distance. And this is their main office and welcome center. So let's pop in and see what's going on in there. A little bit of merchandise, restrooms and maps.
Good morning. Carolina Beach State Park is full of holes.
There's a room with a little bit of edumacation. So now we're driving through Carolina Beach, heading towards the beach. So let's get some sand between our toes and check out what their shoreline looks like. Also, if you need a chair, I got you a hookup right here. Public parking is kind of hard to come by around here. You do have to pay to park. So there's your sign there with your instructions to text and pay, or you can go to some of these other paid parking lots in the area and pay whatever way they want you to pay, whether it's cash on the spot or a credit card machine. And there's your rates right there, $5 an hour, $25 all day. A little pricey, not gonna lie. Check out the art on the back of these two buildings. Super cool. Definitely giving those beach vibes. And the boardwalk is just on the other side of these buildings. So let's go check that out. Just before the boardwalk, there's a little commercial corridor. We'll check that out in just a moment. But for now, we'll go this way. Just outside the beach access is a pretty large public shower. Honestly, reminds me kind of like a prison shower. A little weird. Got boardwalk to one side, boardwalk to the other side, and beach straight ahead. Oh, there's a whole bunch of swings too. Time to get the toes in the sand. There's all those super popular tents. What are they called?
Shaboomies.
Shaboomies. ShamWow, Shambui. Anyway, those things are all over the place. But here we are. It's quite dense right here. But it is a beautiful summer day. One thing I'm immediately noticing is there's a lot of tents on the beach here down in Myrtle Beach. No tents allowed. It's funny, on the Shambowie, whatever those freaking things are called over there, it actually says you can use them everywhere in the continental US except for the Grand Strand. So I guess the Grand Strand are kind of tent Nazis, if you will. The slope of the beach here is pretty darn steep. I imagine the undertow is, or can be, fairly rough. A lot of surfers out there. It's early in the morning, so the bar's not open, obviously, and the carnival rides are not operating yet. But as you can see, there's quite a few to choose from down here. Everything from the classic Ferris wheel to the slide. And down at the end, I'm just going to call that the death machine. Yeah. Another cool mural over here next to the tornado. It's nice. And here's a different angle of that slide and Ferris wheel. So a single ticket is $2.50, and here's what each ride's going to cost you when it comes to tickets. But it also says $5 processing fee for every transaction, so $5 plus whatever you're paying for. It's unless you're using cash. That's just a little pricey. You, sir, are nickel and diming me. You, sir. Check out the front of this funhouse. This is awesome. I'm not a fan of going into these, but this kind of shtick aesthetic look of the fairy tales, which really this artwork looks pretty clean, if not, relatively newly repainted. It's in good condition. I don't know which one of these is my favorite. Let me see here. The Alice is pretty good. I mean, she seems really terrified. Like she's seen some stuff. Rumpelstiltskin looks pretty terrifying too. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Alice. I think Alice is my favorite out of these. That's cool. Hey, and they have what I always call the Hurricane, because down in Myrtle, that's what we call this specific ride. Here it's called the Music Express. This is supposed to be a children's ride, but as I get closer to this duck, it's more of a horror ride. Look at that. That is nightmare fuel. And the eyes, they light up at night. Dude, I'm kind of creeped out. I need to get away from this thing. It's looking at us. Got a photo op right here. And a lemonade stand. It's closed right now, but this is giving roller coaster tycoon vibes right here, if you know what I mean. The lemonade stands from that game. Classic. I always feel like a donut. Brits is supposed to have some really good donuts, and we're about to find out. Cash only. Brits Donuts. That's really good. It's like an alternate universe Krispy Kreme. Little.
Look at Krispy Kreme with like a shell.
Yeah.
Outside is crispy.
It's like a crispy exterior, but a Krispy Kreme on the inside. I like it. So those Brits donuts were fantastic. Highly recommend them if you're here at Carolina Beach. You can't have a boardwalk without an arcade. Even if arcades nowadays are, way different than they were, 10 years ago versus 20 versus 30 years ago. But I still appreciate the fact that they're here, even if they are way different than the arcades I remember in my youth. Check out the paint job on this building. That is awesome. We're here at Fort Fisher. We're gonna park and check out the water. There's an aquarium right around the corner and a lot of historic sites. So if you're a history buff, there's a lot to check out over here. This is the beach at Fort Fisher. Plenty of open beach. Over there it's a lot of rock to protect the erosion. It's quiet out here. You don't have all the commercial buildings or residential. It's nice and quiet out here. And similar to Carolina Beach, you see how steep that slope, that incline is from the beach to the water. So be careful of that undertow when you're out here. So this is a Civil War battlefield site. So that's one of the history points here at Fort Fisher. So keep that in mind, be respectful. But at the same time, go ahead and enjoy. It appears to be a little trail here through these trees. It's very interesting. We're either going to encounter snakes or enter Narnia. So let's find out. Oh, this is some tight space here. Oh, it's definitely a trail. You got to duck to get in here, though. Oh. You can see some trails have been blazed periodically. It's very cool. Temperature drops a good 10 degrees in here. It's nice, but I'm not quite prepared to be walking through this kind of stuff, so I'm going to back out and go toward the light. This area is also known as Pleasure Island, not to be confused with Disney World. We're going to head over to the ferry at the very tip of the peninsula and ferry over to Southport. If you end up having to wait for a ferry, there are restrooms and some soda machines, drink machines over here to the side. And here is your receipt if you're going to use this ferry. It's going to cost you $7 per vehicle. After you pay, you will have to wait for the next departure of the ferry, so they're going to queue you up in 2 lines before they start loading you. All right, let's load up on the ferry. Ferries like this always remind me of the beginning of Alan Wake. And if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean. Oh, looks like we get the shade. Unless just that guy gets it. We don't get the shade. this is the interior of the ferry. Plenty of space on a hot day. You can look out the window as it moves. Very nice. Instructions are placed at each location on the vessel for your convenience. They're going for the ride. Stowaways. These are the nice spots. You get the shade. So there are two ferries and they cross each other midstream. So they're constantly loading and unloading on both sides at the same time. And as the engines change throttle, there's our dock right there. So we're gonna dock up and drive out of here. Off the ferry. So all of these souls here will be hopping on the ferry we just took and heading north. So we're in the city of Southport, North Carolina. So let's do something in Southport, North Carolina. How about some food? Also, awesome old Jeep right there. This is kind of the Main Street area of Southport up against the water. We're gonna go get a bite to eat right around the corner. Welcome to Southport. Lots of restaurants on this ocean front here. Plenty of parking right behind us. And we're gonna try to get a bite to eat just over yonder. So we have Edgewater to our right, Provision Company, which has a crazy line, which probably means it's good, and Frying Pan to our left. General rule of thumb, not always the case, but usually the case. If there's a long line, it's probably good. So we're gonna try this Provision Company and maybe get a really nice seat looking out over the, what do you call this? Is it the Sound? Is it the ocean? What do you call it here in Southport? To me, if it's saltwater, it's the ocean. We got grouper salad sandwich, French fries, crab cake sandwich, and potato salad. Sweet tea, of course.
Have a good one, guys.
Definitely a busy day on the water today. On a day like today, makes a lot of sense. Also, there's a lighthouse way out there in the distance. Next to all these restaurants, there's a little bit of a coast. You can dip your toes in if you were so inclined. And Oak Island Lighthouse back there. There's a really cool building over here on the corner. It's even got the viewing deck on top. It's for sale. Maybe I should buy it. I wonder what the history of this building is. It's a very unique structure with the upper deck on it. So as if the universe answered my question, right across the street from said house is a little history about it. Built in 1864, or my goodness, learn how to read numbers, 1868. What's super interesting that I'm noticing here is in this photo, water's right here, right up against it. But when I turn around, there's the building, and there's a good bit of space for the coast and obviously a road, sidewalk. 1868. Cupola and a widow's walk, which makes it unique as per the description here. And this guy's name who built it was Thomas Thompson. Tom. So currently, it's a vacation rental. I dig it. It's a cool building. All right, well, that's Southport. I think we're gonna hop in our vehicle and get rolling somewhere else. We are currently driving through the Oak Island section of North Carolina, as you can see from that sign there that says Oak Island City Limit. And we are crossing the Tri-Coastal Waterway. I've driven over this a couple times today. It's a very wide section of it too. You can tell that this area, it's highly residential, skinny roads. I like the vibe of it. It feels like a lot of the other North Carolina towns, like Ocean Isle. Kind of feeling I'm getting here. So Oak Island is really cool. I like it. Residential. And yes, I am going the wrong way on a one-way street, so I'm going to get out of the way. That's what happens when you don't know where you are. Okay, well, I think we'll visit Oak Island on another day. Actually get out and dip our toes in the sand. But for now, we're gonna head back to Myrtle and call it a day. So, till next time, everybody, take it easy.